I don't know. It's weird. Like most Chinese young people love Trump.
Chinese young people love you, man. Love
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Alright.
That's just from the young people. I don't think that if someone who knows like international politics exactly, they will love Trump also. So Chinese young people give Trump a nickname in Chinese. You know that?
Yeah.
They give him a name called 建国. What that means is that building a country.
Wow, that's crazy. So the Chinese young people love Trump more than the American young people.
Attitudes toward China are pretty negative. And if we look at that starting about 2017, 2018 really, the unfavorable starts to go up. And that's about the time that Trump's really going all in on China. And then shortly after that, COVID starts, and you guys started COVID, and you're responsible for everything. So 4 out of 5 Americans have an unfavorable view of China and Chinese. Did you know this, by the way?
Well, I am exposed to the news, so I do see the American side of things, but I don't really experience it in my day-to-day life.
So for you don't.
The reason you don't experience it is because most Americans do not participate in these polls. If you watching this video, have you ever been polled, like real life? Have you ever been asked how you feel about anything in a real life poll? I've never been polled before. So it's like, sometimes I really do wonder, where do they get this information from that America feels this or people feel that? Anyways, this video is about how China feels about Donald Trump, and it's gonna be shocking. It's gonna surprise you more than you think. Let's continue.
Experience it.
No.
So this is like all talk and who knows what, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I'm also interacting with people my age more, so it's less.
So you don't have that. So have you ever experienced anti-Chinese? Like besides people making stupid. Wait, you went to school. When did you come to the U.S.?
When I was 3.
3? Okay. But you speak Cantonese and Mandarin.
Yeah, I returned to China a few years, like between 3 and 10.
Uh-huh.
So there was some exposure.
Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of opportunities here in the U.S. Did you I would imagine you experienced just stuff with other kids and things like that.
Yeah, actually there was some bullying on both sides.
Uh-huh.
When I was in 2nd grade, I went to China because my grandparents really wanted me to learn Mandarin. Uh-huh. And some of the Chinese kids actually bullied me for being from America.
Yeah.
Because I was sort of more Americanized at that state.
Uh-huh.
But I wouldn't say in America I was bullied for being Chinese, but there was some like cultural being ignorant and stuff kind of bullying rather than actually, I'm going to bully you just because you are Chinese.
I got you. Yeah. All right, I got that. So how is it for you, though, to see that your people, because you're an American citizen, that your people have that, your national people, like, have that, like, those sentiments about your ancestry? I'll say it like that.
It's kind of difficult because I like to be in touch with both my identities, and they're kind of split because I have to code switch a lot in between when I interact with like American friends versus my older family.
Do you ever kind of hide a little bit the fact that you're Chinese at all? Has that ever come up for you?
No.
Because I know I have met a lot of Chinese who sort of like downplay it a little bit right now in these times since, over the course of the past 7 or 8 years.
I think it would depend on who you're interacting with. Since I tend to interact with the younger generation, I wouldn't need to hide that.
Yeah,
she probably doesn't downplay it in terms of like, I'm trying to hide the fact that I'm Chinese. She probably just doesn't mention it. And I don't think that's anything crazy. I think some people just don't mention like things about them, like especially if it could come off as insensitive or if it could come off as controversial. They'll say, I'd rather avoid that discussion and say, whatever, I'll just vibe out in the conversation. But I do understand his question. He's probably trying to say because there is tensions with China, did you try to avoid talking about you being Chinese? I don't think most people do that. They would probably just be like, rather than talking about it, I just won't mention it.
People that look like me?
Yeah.
Yeah, downplay it a little bit, man.
Yeah.
How about for you, man? So this is like you came to a country where 8 out of 10 people have an unfavorable view of you.
Well, for my experience, I seldom, I can say, never met discrimination or what in real life, but I did experience some bullying through the network. Like you can play in the video games. In case that I've ever experienced like kicking out from the game, even I was playing the clutch. I'm the top frag of the team. I got kicked because I'm Chinese.
No, so people kicked you out.
Yeah.
Once they found out you were Chinese.
Yeah.
What was your username? It wasn't a Chinese name, obviously. You can just keep it on.
Because the Steam profile would show during the game.
Yeah.
And I got my Steam profile registered when I was in China. So when I was a freshman year, my Steam profile was locate your come from China, which province, that kind of stuff. So they recognized me. And later, even I changed my profile, they recognized me through my accent. Well, while I was talking.
And so, so you've been kicked out of online video games.
Yeah.
Just kicked out. That's it. You're just gone.
Yeah.
So
I cannot reconnect it because I'm the kicked out one.
So you then come to the idea that, well, people probably did that because I'm Chinese. You assume that.
Yeah, because I'm the top frag.
Yeah. How do you make sense of that? That you have not experienced discrimination here in person,
Yeah.
but you do online.
Yeah.
How do you make sense of that? What do you tell yourself?
I don't know, just in real life, everyone is friendly here. Maybe because I'm living, I've been studying in Harrisburg before. That's a pretty sweet town, middle town. And those people, they're really friendly. Same here as a college city.
Uh-huh.
So I think that depends on the education.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, strangely, the data are showing that usually education, but in this case, strangely, people with more education tend to think more about China and think more and somehow come up with reasons to dislike Chinese more.
I'm going to give my opinion on this. I don't feel any type of racial issues towards China at all. That's not something that I've ever felt. That's not something that I've ever will feel. And it's simply because I'm not a racist. I don't feel like just because someone was born in China or someone is Chinese or someone is Asian that they automatically have these views. I obviously am more so nationalist, where I do want the best interest for America. But just because I want the best interest for America don't mean that I want any negative interest for anywhere else. And I think most Americans think like that. I think we're all just people at the end of the day. I want the best interest for my country, but I don't want anything negative to just naturally happen to another country. It is what it is. Let me know what y'all think though about this topic, because it is a pretty steep one. But let's continue.
About us, man, like that, you know what I mean? This is the question.
Yeah, I was also in an international school, but I think we talked about that before. We're like in the international part of a normal high school in China.
Yeah.
So actually there are students from the normal high school, like they're going to take the test to the Chinese universities.
Yeah.
And they're like normal students.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, I think most of them like they don't have the access to know American too much. Like everything they know is from the news or from the internet that Chinese government says about the USA. So it's not that good, but
It's not that good, meaning it's
Yeah.
not that positive.
yeah, it's pretty normal to see those bad things or anything bad like gunshots or something like that in Chinese internet.
Like
or Chinese
talking
news.
about all the gun
Yeah.
violence here.
Yeah, gun violence. It's
Yeah, were you
most
guys
things.
afraid of coming here and getting shot?
No, I don't care of that.
You don't
Yeah.
care if you get shot?
No. I'm just not afraid of that because I think this place is pretty safe, I think.
Yeah, it is.
That was such a wild question. That was such a wild question by Dr. Richards. Okay.
But I like have a friend who, when he would come here from Afghanistan, and another friend who would come here from Iraq, and all of their friends were afraid for them to come to the U.S. because they thought they were going to get shot.
Nah, I mean, I don't believe in religions, but for me, if I got shot, it's just fate. I don't care.
Okay. all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's just for me.
So
yeah.
listen, let me ask you this. So people, if they read or hear negative things about the United States,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to repeat those. But how often?
Yeah,
how often are people repeating that?
I mean, I think it should be the years ago before 2019,
Yeah.
before the COVID.
Yeah.
Like Chinese people are think that the USA is bad. They are making economics in China bad or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But after the COVID, it changes a lot. Like especially, I think months ago that Trump said they are gonna ban TikTok. And there was a Chinese app called Little Red Book
Yeah.
that was that was popular at that time in the US. I don't know if anyone used that here. And
No, people were starting to move toward it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think Chinese and Americans change both the views there, and they think. I think Chinese are like not they don't hate Americans, but many of them like Americans and they want to go to America
Yeah.
very much. But I hardly heard someone like in the USA they want to go to China or live in China.
Yeah.
Like something like that. I never heard of that. Yeah, but many Chinese they want to go to America for education, for illegal immigration or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, for jobs.
Yeah, for jobs.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
So it's not, but it's even here, right? When I show those numbers up there, the truth is the vast majority of people in the room don't know, y'all don't know anything about China, man. Like they don't know anything.
I think recently there's a live about a YouTuber called Speed in China for 6 days. I don't know if anyone watched that. That's pretty good for you guys to learn China from his YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
For my perspective, I think what you
You know what's crazy? Everyone seems to love America but Americans. And I'm not just making that up. Like, I've watched a lot of these videos of people who aren't from here. There's a whole debate about people literally sneaking into America to live a better life. It's called it's like the illegal immigration is one of the biggest topics right now. Everyone seems to literally love the country except the people here. And it's so crazy to me. Because here we have it. A young man who's from China. He's like, yeah, America's pretty good. I like it here. There's misconceptions about what we believe about America. We like it. We want to come here. Some people from China, like he said, is even willing to become an illegal immigrant just to be here. And then you have actual Americans who are just like, oh, I hate it here. It's the worst place ever. It's crazy, right?
your input will affect your output. So what people hear and read will affect what they thought about something else.
Yeah.
The only way, like, not everyone in China got the passport. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
so
Well,
for-
only
for-
about half of all Americans have passports
Yes.
too.
So for those who don't have the chance to go out, take a look, see what the world outside real, they don't have the chance.
And so therefore they're not going to be thinking about all of that stuff.
Yeah. So
But what do people think about Trump?
I don't know. It's weird. Like most Chinese young people love Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Dude, hang on. Donald.
Yeah.
Donald.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Chinese young people love you, man. Love you.
yeah.
Alright.
That's just from the young people. I don't think that if someone who knows like international politics exactly, they will love Trump also. So.
But that's what you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yes.
that's what you're reading.
Yeah, the Chinese young people give Trump a nickname in Chinese. You know that?
yeah.
They give him a name called 建国. What that means is that building a country.
Wow, that's crazy. So the Chinese young people love Trump more than the American young people. Well, that's interesting. Like I was saying earlier, and I know Trump is not America. It just feels like it kind of feels like to me sometimes, and I might be wrong. Other nations are just more nationalist towards America than actual Americans are. That's crazy.
It's called 建国.
Building a country.
Yeah, building country. And this name is pretty popular in our parents, that generation, their generation, because that's
a common name.
Yeah, that's a common name in China
okay,
at that time. Yeah, they call him because the last time he got into he was the president of USA, and he made a lot of things like they think they make the USA crush or getting worse, and they think he's helping China, and I don't know, it's really weird. So they love Trump and love the style he talks about China. He's like a
But he's always saying so many negative things about China.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. They just don't listen to that.
The fact is, most of the things there is, some of them are true and some of them not. That's pretty popular, normal here too. So,
So like, do Chinese? So you're talking about just what you're reading in chat rooms and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do people understand that he just talks without thinking?
Yeah.
Do they get that he's never doing anything official? Like if you were Trump's handlers, but if I was Trump's handler, and I'm like, listen, Mr. President, when you go into this meeting, what you need to do is you need to be really careful to say it like this, and this, okay? Because it's really important how you say this. This is a message to the American people. And then Trump goes into the meeting, he's like, all right, listen, and then he goes off on some tangent. Do they understand that he just can't be controlled?
Yeah, I think they understand that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask something. People won't get mad with some lie. If it's saying some bad, but that's not true, people won't get bad on that.
They don't care about the
Yeah,
lies.
we don't care about that.
Because
it's not the truth.
Yeah, you understand what is and isn't true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and in a way, it's same here though, right? But obviously Americans don't care about lies either, because it's like the bigger the lie, the bigger it just doesn't seem to matter at all. What about the Chinese American community?
I really just get mine like in terms of what Chinese Americans think through my relatives and like just other Chinese people, Chinese Americans. So I wouldn't really know like digitally what's going on.
Okay, let me just ask you this. Relatives, do you hear?
Yeah.
And generally speaking, do they have a favorable opinion of Trump or unfavorable?
No, they have a favorable opinion of him.
They have a favorable opinion?
Yeah.
So there you have it. The Chinese love Trump. Like they just said, they love him. The Chinese Americans love Trump. The Chinese natives love Trump. The Chinese immigrants love Trump. They all love Trump. That's more shocking than I thought, if I'm being honest. So China loves Donald Trump. It's interesting. Let me know what you guys think about that. It's something that's really shocking to me. Anyways, my name is Jojo, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.